Without further ado, our president, Mr. Chuck Akers.
I'm not used to microphones.
So we'll explain some of what's happening as we go, because if you're a member of USPA and you don't typically find yourself at meetings like this, there may be certain aspects of what we're about to do that you may not completely get. So I'll kind of talk us through what we're doing as we do it. So with that, I will officially bang the gavel for the 2025 United States Parachute Association General Membership Meeting is now in order. Welcome.
Yay!
You guys are worse than board members. Okay, the first thing we have to do, Mr. Secretary. Oh, thank you very much. Now I'm the video guy too. Look at that. Okay, let's talk about the agenda real quick. We'll call to order, which we've already done. The next thing that we have to do to hold an official meeting, since we are an association, we must have a quorum. For anybody that doesn't know what a quorum is, it's a minimum number of representatives to be able to conduct the meeting. That way you don't have two guys go over in the corner and change the rules when nobody's paying attention. So, Mr. Secretary, do we have a quorum?
No, Mr. President, we do not have a quorum in the room.
But we do have a quorum virtually? Not in the room. We do not have a quorum. Right. We don't have a quorum in the room, so the general membership meeting itself, we will take care of that in just a moment by using some gaveling procedures and whatnot. But we do have proxy votes. And again, for anybody that's not familiar with proxy votes, essentially it basically means that a lot of times we can't have people attend these meetings, which is where we would have the general membership vote on certain items that require a membership vote. Not everything can be done by the board of directors. If you want to change bylaws and things like that, that has to be done by a vote of the members. So because we never have a quorum, to have a quorum, we have to have 10% of our membership present. That would be more than 4,000 people. So we're almost probably certainly never going to ever have a quorum physically present. So instead we do proxy votes whenever we have votes that have to be done by the general membership. So what we've got up here, we have 2 votes for you folks to look at today. If you voted for these already when you voted in the elections last October, because both of these proxy votes were on that election ballot, then you're good to go. You don't need to do anything. If you, sir? Or since then, because you can sign in at USPA and vote on those. So even though the election deadline has come and gone, the deadline for the proxies, there's no specific deadline. So we wanted to take every opportunity we can to give every member their opportunity to vote on those proxies. You want to come on up, Mr. Secretary? We're going to, come on. We're going to have Mr. Lalo go through the motions. We'll put them up on the screen so he can physically read them to you. That way you know exactly what the motions are. More than anything else, they're procedural. It's nothing that's going to, change the world, but it's a formality we have to go through. So with that said, Mr. Secretary, would you please take over? Ray Lalo.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm standing. Whatever. Okay, we do have 2 motions to discuss. I'll read the motions and you can also follow along. I'm sorry, I have to say close to this so you can follow along on the screen. Motion 1, this is voted in a regional director's election. Proposal, amend Article 5, Section 4 of the USPA Governance Manual to read, candidates for USPA regional directors who have met all requirements listed in the election section will be placed on the ballot. No limitation is placed on the number of candidates in any one region. However, members may vote for only one USPA regional director candidate. Members may not vote for a USPA regional director candidate outside the voting members' region. The candidate in each region receiving the largest number of votes shall be certified as USPA regional director for the ensuing 3 years. Currently, the current proxy count right now is 4,253 yays or yeses, 539 nay or noes, and 1,239 abstains. Okay, so that's the first motion. Do I have any questions or discussion? Another second and a half. Okay, awesome. All right, if you have not voted in the general membership election, like Chuck said, or the voting is still open. So if you have not voted and you want to vote right now, go to USPA.org/elections and vote before this meeting is over. So it is still open to the end of the meeting, till we gavel out. understand? Awesome. Thank you very much. All right. Yep. Motion 2. Board candidate qualifications. Proposal. Amend section 3-1.3A of the USPA Governance Manual to include 3. A U.S. citizen or reside in the U.S. as a candidate qualification for considerations as a potential candidate for election to the board. Current proxy count, 4,502 yes or yay, 639 nay or no, and 891 abstains. Questions or discussion? Wonderful. Yes, yes.
Just for clarification, what was the minimum number of votes submitted required in order to make this proxy effort?
We got it. We got them.
Well,
I don't know. 10%. Yeah, 10%. By 4,000, right, of the quorum. And then, so. Understand. Cool. You're on the board. You should know this. Well, we'll discuss the governance later. Nah, you ain't gonna play that. All right. So just again, based on the proxy count, it appears that the vote is going to pass. The final vote count, again, will reflect in the minutes, which will be at least within 60 days of after the board meeting. Okay. All right, thank you. That's all I have, Mr. President.
And now we gavel out, yes? Okay, so this is the part that whoever's been to a general membership meeting will remember this part. For those who are new, you've probably never seen this before. The first thing we do is we open the meeting, right? Second thing we do is see if we have a quorum, which we have just discovered a moment ago that we do not have a quorum in the room. We cannot conduct the general membership meeting or any USPA business if we do not have a quorum. Therefore, the 2025 annual general membership meeting for the United States Parachute Association is adjourned. Now, with that said, we're not done. That's the official process stuff. Now we're going to have a meeting, because the meeting that we're having, general membership meeting, is much more broad. It's much more informal. We want to see all of our members engaged. So this is our opportunity to have the members mano a mano with the board. And we'll field questions. We'll discuss anything that might be on your mind. And from there, we'll begin with, where are we going next? Here we go. Staff presentations. You want to start, Mr. Burstall? Now he wants me to read too. Oh, thank you, sir. Pass you to here. Gotcha. So, Mr. Albert Burstall, he will be taking us through some of these agenda items.
Perfect. Thanks, Chuck, and thank you, Ray, and thank you everyone who participated. So we're going to run through a little bit of information now from that'll be presented by myself and the rest of staff. Some kind of state of the association type information, some membership, license information, membership, financial information, and then some department by department information for all of you to take a look at what the organization has been doing and what we have planned to do as we move forward. So first, we'll start off with USPA's mission, supporting safe skydiving and those who enjoy it. Those that work at USPA have probably gotten tired of me saying this, because I say it all the time in all the meetings, because it's what really guides us in everything we do from a staff point of view. And then our 3 core functions: ensuring skydiving's rightful place on airports and in the airspace system, promotion of safe skydiving through education, training, licensing, and instructor qualification programs, and promoting competition and record-setting programs. You may recognize some of these faces. Our USPA Board of Directors. There are 22 board members, 14 of which are regional directors, 8 which are national directors, and 8 standing committees: the Executive Committee, Safety and Training, Competition, Membership, Group Membership, Finance and Budget, Governance, and Regional Directors. We just held an election at the end of last year, which many of you are perfectly aware of. We elected our new board, and here they are. We had 3 new board members that came on board: Amy Shimlecki, Scotty Wood, Bob Mell, and 3 who are departing: Mr. Chris Wagner, Ed Scott, and Larry Hill. We, of course, cannot thank those 3 enough for their time and efforts, dedication, and service to USPA. And a big thanks to all our board members, because as many of you know, They volunteer a lot of their time to this organization. It's not just the board meetings that happen twice a year where they fly to wherever we hold those and spend 3 days sitting in a boring hotel conference room, but they give time day in and day out at their local drop zones around their regions, supporting USPA, communicating with members, and doing the hard work of USPA. So thank you to all of our board members. Our board members serve a 3-year term. As I mentioned, they're all volunteer. So we get this question every once in a while: how much do the board members get paid? Well, it's zero. It's nothing. They volunteer their time because they love the sport of skydiving. They're elected by the membership. That's all of you. And the current term we're heading into, the next 3 years, will go 25, 26, and 2027. A lot of people ask us the difference between the board and staff. In short, the board makes policy, and it's the staff's job to execute those decisions. Some board responsibilities: the board determines the policies of the association. They establish the operating budget. They develop and establish programs for the association in concert with our headquarters staff, who we'll get to in just a moment. And they hire, and if necessary, remove the executive director as the association's chief of staff. The employees, on the other side, are paid employees. The majority work in Fredericksburg, Virginia, currently 10 of them, and there are 6 other employees who are full-time remote employees located around the United States. Here's a look at our current staff makeup, to include myself. We have many of the staff members here. I'll point some of them out, and they can raise their hand and wave as we go around. Our Director of Technology, Jen Sharp, in the back of the room there. Stephanie Whitaker, our Director of Accounting. She's not here. Office Administrator, Tammy Zitz. Communications Department is Laura Sharp. Debbie Gross, Nate Hill, our graphic artist. Sport promotion done by Shannon Searles. Managing editor of Parachutist Magazine and other content, Luke Jones. George Hargis is in the back, our PR and social media manager. New web designer who we just hired this month. He'll be starting next month. Mr. Tyler Jones, skydiver from the Midwest region. Young guy, he's really good, super excited to be a part of it, active skydiver, so really great to have him on board. Membership Services Department, Stephanie Seidel, she's in the back of the room there as well. She's the one who handles all the folks who answer the phones when you call into USPA and you need any help. Membership Coordinator, Deborah Miller. Competition and Records Director, Amanda Owen, she's in the back of the room there as well. Safety and Training Director, Ron Bell, and his assistant, John Zitz, is not here today. He's back at home answering the phones. And our Government Relations Director, Mr. Michael Knight. Many of you have spoken to him if you've ever had issues as a drop zone owner, if you are a DZO and needed help with something related to airport access, he's your guy. Now we'll get into some stats on the organization. So a little bit of end of year numbers for 2024. So as you see, membership currently floats just under 42,000. Highest membership last year was right around 42,000. 2021, you'll notice on these graphs, are a little bit lower. That was coming out of COVID. New members, just over 7,500. Group members, just under 200. It's hovered around that 200 number for quite some time. Sometimes it's a little bit over, sometimes a little bit under. Licenses issued, about 9,600. A license, 4,700. Ratings issued last year, just over 1,800. And new pro ratings, just around 80 of them. So 2021 was a pretty slow year. 2022 was a pretty big rebound from that. So that was good recovery out of COVID. It came really fast for the organization. Many countries did not see that happen as quickly as we did, which was very nice. Incident reporting. This is non-fatal incident reports. You'll notice in the past, if you go back to the years of 2015, 16, 17, 18, we got less than 50 non-fatal incident reports in. And then we got a gentleman named Ron Bell in the office, and he realized the importance of the data related to non-fatal incident reports and how we could use that data to help reduce injuries in our sport. And we went into a pretty big campaign of trying to get more data from the field, more information on non-fatal incidents, and that number currently sits around a little over 250 incident reports that we receive every year. In 2024, we had 9 skydiving fatalities. I hope you all were able to sit in on Ron Bell's presentation, his fatality summary earlier in the week from PIA. Pretty amazing that we've gotten down to 9, but we're not taking our foot off the gas by any means. It would be great to continue to see that number decline. There were 2 of them related to medical problems, 1 no pull, 1 entanglement from instability, 1 unintentional low turn, or 2 unintentional low turns, 2 intentional, 1 canopy collision. Great to see that into single digits for the first time since USPA began record keeping of fatalities. So big kudos to everyone involved, and that's something that all of us had a part in. Whether you're a skydiver, whether you're a drop zone owner, an instructor, safety and training advisor, it takes the entire community to help bring this number down. A little bit of financial information. This is December 2024 and December 2023 financial information. Operational revenue for the organization for last year, just over $4 million, 4.029. Expenses 3.916 with an operational revenue over expenses of 113,000. Interest and dividends from the organization's reserves of 176,000. Investment revenue gains and losses 616. That's the fluctuation within the stock market. Total non-operational activity 749,000 in the positive, and a total revenue over expenses of 863. So some years that looks really good, some years it's high, a lot of it's market fluctuation. So the organization does its best to balance its budget based on operational activities, operational revenue and operational expenses. And we watch the reserves go up and down like a roller coaster, as all of you do with your 401ks. Operating cash for the organization, as you can see, the blue numbers from 2023, the orange from 2024. It's cyclical. We always see those numbers go down in February, March, April, and then cycle back up through the end of the year as more people get into the sport, and then we watch it go down again. So that's based on expiration dates and memberships and the seasonality of our sport. Reserve accounts for USPA. The total reserve funds for the organization creeping up on just around 7 million. The team trust fund at about 2.8 million. And the AAD fund sitting right at about 360, depending on how the stock market does from day to day. So that's the money we use for airport access defense. So in a positive direction, which is good. USPA assets versus net worth, about 9.4 on total assets of the organization, and just over 7 on net worth. And the biggest liability there that you see, the building that USPA owns in Fredericksburg is completely paid off. So the biggest liability there is actually deferred dues revenue. Next, we'll take a look at project status by department, and I will ask our Director of Government Relations to come up, Mr. Michael Knight, and walk you through some of the accomplishments from 2024 and plans for 2025 in the Government Relations Department.
Thank you, Robert. So we've been able to be successful in a number of airport access cases without filing complaints with the FAA Part 13s or Part 16s. This is good because we're able to get ahead of issues before they become long and late and expensive legal battles. And this this is mainly due to our positive relationship at FAA headquarters, particularly at Flight Standards. We've been able to work with them really well to solve these issues before they become bigger. We had a number of operators call us and notify us that they received information from their local FSDO stating they needed to comply with the pilot records database. This was an error, and we were able to clarify that with FAA headquarters that parachute operators are not required to comply with the pilot record database. We successfully launched, and it's available for all of our group members, the safety management system template from USPA. This is a template that group members can customize to their specific operation. It is a fairly in-depth process, but operators that are interested in it can contact me, and I'd be happy to assist with that process. What do we have? We've completed the first jump pilot module. These are short educational videos for jump pilots to help refresh them on topics specific to flying skydivers. We hope to launch a series of these by the end of this year. So upcoming this year, we're preparing for the Aviation Rulemaking Committee related to the passage of FAA reauthorization. We've assembled a team of industry stakeholders to represent the parachute industry, so DZOs, manufacturers, insurance executives, and members of PIA and USPA to participate on that ARC to help defend skydiving against any unnecessary regulations. The ARC is expected to begin soon, but there is some turmoil and uncertainty within the FAA related to the new administration, so we're kind of in a waiting, holding mode until we get more information from the FAA. Right, so with the new administration again, there is a potential. Some aviation groups are once again supporting and trying to promote ATC privatization. USPA and the entire GA community will continue to oppose any efforts to privatize ATC, but that is something we are definitely continuing to monitor. More modules coming this year, and then, yeah, as always, we'll continue to assist members and DZOs in any airport access or airspace related issues. All right, that's it for me. I think we're up to Mr. Ron Bell. Come on down.
Safety and training departments had a really good year. Some of the general stuff that we usually do is working with all of our rating holders. We got about 4,000 rating holders. About a third of them are new every year, so helping them work through the process of renewing the first time, especially when they forget to renew on time. We just finished up our annual SNTA meetings. This is something the regional directors have to do with each one of their regions. We help them do those meetings. We also go over the fatality PowerPoint so that their SNTAs are familiar with that when going into Safety Day that we just had this weekend. We've got a couple more yet to do this year for some of the northern regions that haven't done Safety Day yet. Online training, we updated the online training for the coach course. We also updated all the SNTA training modules because all the SNTAs with the new board coming in all have to go through those modules again, so we updated all that with the content from the last 3 years. The USPA library, we added a camera module for new jumpers that want to start flying camera. This is an educational piece that they can go on and watch. It's like $4.99. They're not good to go jump cameras once they watch this, but this is great information so that it leads into a really good conversation with the SNTA or lead instructor or whoever's going to assign them off to start jumping camera at their drop zone. Working with the compliance group and helping members be compliant with BSRs and rating holding stuff. I do about every 6 weeks. I do a meeting with my counterparts in British Skydiving, Australian Parachute Federation, I think Canada, and there's one other smaller country. Here at PIA, we've added 3 more safety officers from other associations. So what we do is we get together, we keep notes over the 6 weeks, but if something pops up in our particular region, we want to talk to the other experts and see if they've had the same problem and how they've dealt with it. So it keeps it's a really tight community, and it works really well for solving problems, because a lot of times if we have an issue here, somebody's already dealt with it, and then they can give us how they dealt with it, and that gives us a really good place to start from. rather than starting from scratch. What we're planning on doing next year, goals for 2025, is keeping in contact with all the rating holders. We're hoping to expand the USPA modules to include Handycam for tandem instructors, and we would like to have pre-courses for the AFF course and for the tandem course. So we're looking at a lot more content going into there. Our big project, oh, you know what I missed? Our big project, the biggest project this year is rewriting the IRM. Our biggest project last year was rewriting the SIM. I hope everyone has had a chance to download that version of the SIM. I would get a physical copy in your hand, order it from Amazon. It's got nice colors, nice graphics. It's completely different, and it's a really useful tool now. Before, I felt like it was just a list of rules, especially for somebody that didn't know the lingo. It was really hard to understand. Governance committee. Working with the governance committee, working with the compliance group, like we always do. Fatality presentation, I did it here at PIA. I hope it was done at your guys' local drop zones. You can download it if you're interested off the Safety Day page down the download section. And Stay Alive Practice 5, we started 3 years ago with Safety Day, and we've had kind of a general canopy theme for the last 3 years. Sherry's in charge of the task force. Sherry, we have not had a fatality for non-intentional low tunes in the last 2 years. So hopefully we're making progress. Next up is competition, and Amanda is super excited to be here.
All right, so for competition, we continue to support our athletes at every level that we can with competition and with records. Our judge activity reporting online submission has been a success to ease the process with their end-of-year activity reports. We enter them into the system with nationals or collegiates and any records that they judge, and that way it auto-populates to their account. It's less work that they have to do and submit, so that's been well received. Also worked with the communications department and created an amazing informational site for nationals and collegiates. And what that does is it allows the athletes and the competitors to have a consistent location to find the information and navigate the site. And it's a work in progress. We will continue to improve that, but communications department has done an amazing job. The next piece to that site is to add the registration, so that way it will be a consistent process. So that's our future goal, and that we are making progress with that with the technology department. We had a successful completion of the 2024 Nationals and Collegiates. It was well received. We had wonderful feedback from the competitors, and we will continue to take any of that feedback and then continue using that in our host communication meetings that we host. And we have those every month, and that is to allow the teams to come together to provide the best experience we can for our athletes. We did host the ISC meeting in the US for the first time last year. We've also had an ISC meeting that we attended in Rome this year. And then continuing goals is to work on creating a common curriculum for our judge program. That will be a long process, but that will be well received, I believe, and make everything more consistent in the community. Continue to work with team organization and communication for first category events. That's what an FCE is. And then create competition guides on a mini scale. If you ever have a competition that you have host at your drop zone, please email me, and I would love to see the information so we can build out mini competition guides for drop zones to have to download and start hosting mini competitions to encourage attendance. With our team athletes at the FCEs, which are first category events, we continue to communicate with our team managers, and we had an amazing, successful fundraising initiative. So this allowed the team uniforms that our athletes wear. Now we have sponsors that donated $250 or more. They received a jersey, and that went to particular teams. Those efforts, along with corporate sponsors, allowed us to raise $72,724.75 to distribute to our athletes to support them in competition to reimburse them for expenses. That was a huge success. We plan on doing this initiative every championship year, which is every other year. So the next time we do this will be in 2026. We will advertise, and we encourage you to buy a sponsor jersey. You can allocate or decide which team you choose to allocate those funds to. And then our records, as you can see on the side, you can see some of the records that our athletes set at those first category events. Amazing accomplishments. Our records program also continues to be a success. You can see that our numbers continue to improve, but in SCIM, which is Skydiver's Competition Manual, Chapter 3, it outlines our records program. If you ever have questions, please do not hesitate to call or email me, and I can walk you through the process. I can answer anything. I can help you look up current records or unclaimed records. And the unclaimed records are amazing that they're even out there because you don't need a lot of people to set a record. So I encourage you at your drop zone, you may be able to set a record without even doing more than your daily operations. Contact me. We can work together. I can walk you through the process. Will you be part of the next of a 2025 record? I hope so. And next up is our technology department with Jen Sharp.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jen Sharp, and I just a week ago had my first grandbaby, so I'm going to put my glasses on. So yes, I'm the technology department again. Thanks, Nico, and I'm Department of One again now. So you can see we're all really busy at USPA, but I feel like my job is really to make everyone's job easier. So you can see a lot of cross work with all the departments, and especially technology. I get to play with all the departments. It's really fun. So what you'll see here, I'm just going to highlight the list here and kind of connect what the last year's goals match with what this year's are. So for safety and training, the focus has already been on the USPA library, as you've seen, and we expanded and updated all the online educational offerings and resources for SNTAs, coach course, A license progression with the 3D dive flows, and what's coming next is even more support for A license students. Ron mentioned the new modules that we're trying. We're going to do AFF instructor rating course first. That's what we're focusing on right now. And as Michael also alluded to, the jump pilot modules. So we'll be working on those. And of course, I was involved with the SIM rewrite and the IRM rewrite, anything that touches those kinds of technologies. With the competition department, the focus was putting judge and rating renewals and initial applications online. We got that taken care of, and record submissions online. So there's a lot of things online that you used to have to do on paper. Now you can go online for it. And also including supporting judge examiners and connected with helping them find potential candidates and also administer their courses. So coming next year, we're going to tackle the nationals and collegiates registration and streamline hosting and consistency there. With membership and communications department, the focus has been on the USPA.org website, which got a facelift. Been working on better search results, SEO, auto renewals for memberships and ratings, smoother signups, the passkey feature. Hopefully you found that and enjoy that. Super easy to log in. And coming up next, we are going to try to boost SEO further. I'm looking forward to working with our new employee in the communications department as well. Some of these things, just no time to tackle, and we have somebody here now on board starting in April. I'm super excited to work with them. And also, I'm looking into ways to leverage AI to have a better experience for the users to find things because we have a lot of resources, and it's just very difficult to find exactly what you want. And so we're going to look into not cutting out resources, just making it easier to find what you need. That's it. That's my job, to make everybody else's job easier. Oh, next person. Who is it? Communications.
Okay, hi, I'm George Hargis, and I work in the communications department with 5 other staff members, soon to be 6. And as you can see, based on all the words on this slide, we've had a very busy year in 2024. I won't go over every single bullet point on the slide, but I do want to highlight some of our biggest accomplishments. So starting at the top, I know you guys probably can't read, it's pretty small text. Our department is known for is Parachutist Magazine, which is one of the last remaining viable skydiving magazines in the world. And year after year, when we poll our members, 70% of you prefer to read the print version of the magazine. And one thing that I would like to point out is that we are dedicated to keeping the page count at 76 pages or less to keep costs low. And also we devote 20 to 25% of the magazine to ad space to cover the cost of printing and distributing the magazine. While it does take our whole team to produce every issue every month, it's only a fraction of what we do in our department, so I'm going to move on. The next accomplishment I would like to point out is our efforts surrounding World Skydiving Day. Our department created the official website for the event, as well as multiple forms of advertisement, including creating the official logo and graphics to share with participating drop zones around the world. We also conducted PR outreach and had some incredible news coverage of the event, and we are looking to continuing to support World Skydiving Day in 2025 as well. The third big accomplishment for our department was creating the new SIM, and of course the board of directors task force was responsible for the content as well as the safety and training department, but our department laid out all of the graphics and did all of the editing for the SIM. So it was really a big team effort through a couple different departments. And you can go get it online now for free. You can download a PDF, or if you're like me and you like a print version, you can also buy one in our store or on Amazon. Next up on our accomplishments, I would like to point out the election for the new BOD, Board of Directors, that took place this year. Our department laid out the election materials and sent out reminder emails to the membership to ensure that everyone who wanted to vote would have all of the information needed to do so. And speaking of emails, hopefully you have subscribed to the update, if you're a member, which is an e-newsletter that we send out monthly to update all of our members on current topics and important information. We also have the professional e-newsletter that goes out to rating holders, DZOs, and others who work professionally in skydiving. We also have our new member email and our A-license email with information to the new skydivers in our community. We send out an average of 1,350 emails per day. It's a lot of emails. The communications department also sends out the membership renewal notice and rating renewal notices to keep our members prepared and informed when they need to renew. The next big accomplishment I would like to point out is our work in public relations, which is something that I'm directly involved in as the PR manager. I work closely with a professional PR firm, and together we work hard to promote the sport of skydiving to the general public through many different media outlets. And as you can see here in this next slide, in 2024 we secured 272 media placements with an ad value of $23.3 million. And I just put some screenshots of some of my favorite coverage that were covered in 2024. Lastly, on the accomplishments list, I want to point out that the Starter Mag, which was produced in 2023, was a huge success. And as you can see from this slide, when we polled our members, the blue, the majority believe that the Starter Mag is a valuable resource for new skydivers. So we continue distributing these starter magazines to our member drop zones for free. They don't have to pay for the actual books. They just have to cover the cost of shipping. Or if they come to Virginia to where all the magazines are located, they can just pick them up for free, as many as they want. In 2025, we do hope to secure a drop shipping option to lower the cost even more. And in 2025, one of our goals is to have a starter magazine volume 2. So this brings me to the rest of our 2025 goals, which as you can see here is a lot. We hope to continue doing all of these things this year. And I think one big one to note is that following up with the SIM rewrite, as Ron mentioned, his department is going to be tackling the IRM rewrite. And with the help of the board of directors and the safety and training department, my department will be editing and laying out all of the new information and graphics for that manual as well. And one last thing I would like to point out is that one of our 2025 goals will be completed tomorrow. We are hosting the Drop Zone Operators Conference here in Daytona for Drop Zone operators, managers, and staff. The website, registration, and planning for this conference were all responsibilities of the communications department. And if you'd like to attend, it is across the street at the Hilton tomorrow at 8. So that's it for me in communications. I'm going to throw back to Albert for membership.
Thanks, George. So membership department. Membership department is the first point of communication within USPA. Their goal is to be friendly, helpful, and efficient. So in years past, the membership services department would be as many as a dozen people in the middle of the summer. Due to a lot of the stuff that Jen mentioned in the technology side of things, that's changed. The membership department is now 2.5 people. It's 2 full-time and then 1 person that is split between the safety and training department and the membership services department. So that's pretty spectacular that we've managed to move that many of the organization's transactions online. And that hasn't necessarily been because of us, it's been because that's what the membership has wanted, and we've answered those requests. So year to date, the number of applications and transactions that have gone through the website have been about 85%. And if you look at the bottom of that accomplishment list, it's slowly grown over the years. In 2021, it was at 69%, 22, 70, 23, 78, and now with more technological advancement and more work on programming and developing new work on the website and offerings, digital offerings, so we've got that up to about 85%. There's certain things that will probably always be done manually, and folks who will always choose to call in or mail in things, but the vast majority of members are really happy doing their transactional business with USPA. Membership Services Department handled shipping of the U.S. Parachute Team uniforms and processing of the U.S. Parachute Team sponsor jerseys that Amanda showed you earlier. We reduced the number of staff in that department, which we talked about. We've revamped the online store, which we brought fulfillment of that store back in-house. We set up a stock room, we trained staff on it. We also have a new mail machine in the building. So that will hopefully lead to us being able to have better and more offerings of USPA branded items like the jersey that you see staff wearing today. Goals for 2025, we're hoping to maintain world-class member service, continue to be timely, friendly. We want you to always be able to call USPA, hear a positive voice on the other side, and always be able to talk to somebody who's going to be able to help you with whatever your concern or question is. We're working on opening up auto renewal options for members. Sounds easy at first, but once you get into it, with all the different membership types, ratings, credentials that we offer, it's actually quite a tricky thing to do. So we're working on that and all the different notifications and steps that'll have to go along with that. Working on some updates at headquarters to update the competition hallway. Membership Services Department is assisting with that. Adding new products into the online store, and we're going to involve Membership Services Department more in the processing of the World Skydiving Day record come July this summer. Next up, it's exciting to me. I love accounting, but the list is really short here because the more boring the accounting department is, probably the better job they're doing. So in 2024, they produced timely financials for USPA, the U.S. Parachute Team, U.S. Skydiving Safety Foundation, and the U.S. Team Trust Fund. Each of these organizations have an annual audit done by an outside entity, and they all came in clean with no opinion found. And the goal for 2025, as exciting as it sounds, it's exactly the same. Continue to produce on-time reports, continue to process our financial transactions as smooth and as cleanly as possible, and have the audit come out clean and make sure that everything is reported the way it's supposed to be. That's pretty much what we have on department by department stuff. There's a lot of content there, a lot to take in, I know. A lot of words on the screen, so we tried to keep it higher level for you guys, but we'll open it up with questions. But before we do that, I think we're going to do a drawing for that jersey. If you haven't had a chance to, oh, here comes George. She's got the fancy drawing. So that QR code that we popped up in the beginning, which allowed you to make a donation, at any point during the meeting or during this week. Here we are. We now have the Wheel of Fun. So the winner, these are all folks who made a donation to one of the entities this week. And the winner is Nico Romero. Congratulations, Nico. Come on up. Well, we have a bunch of different sizes. So, Nico, swing by the booth, see Stephanie. She's got all the different size jerseys. You can pick out one that fits you and take it home with you and wear it with pride as a USPA member. So I'll ask for our president, Mr. Chuck Akers, if you'd like to come up and close us out, and we can, or if we have any questions from the gallery before we close out today's meeting. Questions, discussion points that you'd like to make?
I got a question. Brett Martin, Bad Bones Parachute in Washington State. How are we coming along with getting the age back to 16 to skydive? Any updates on that?
I don't believe the topic of age is on the board's agenda for this meeting, but it has been in past years, and it's been a heavily debated item. Lots of difference of opinions on it from the membership and from the board as well. So, I mean, I know you were on the board years ago, and it came up back then, and it's come up a couple times, and it gets discussed here and there, but I know at this point it's not on the agenda for the board to discuss it this weekend. Yeah. Other questions or thoughts? All right, if there's nothing else, I want to say thank you all for being members and leave it to Chuck for the final words here.
Thank you very much. Thanks again, everybody, for coming. I know some of this stuff can be on the dry side because it's the business of doing business, and I know typically skydivers want carpet for packing and refrigerators for beer, and if you give them that and keep the federal government off our asses, you guys are usually pretty happy. I've been doing this for 40 years, and those are really the three things I've ever really wanted, was a refrigerator, carpet, and the FAA to stay off my butt. So thank you all for coming. Please know this. Everywhere I go, and as a regional director, it was that way, and now as the president, it's even more that way. We have so many members who somehow think that they shouldn't talk to us. Or if I show up on a drop zone I've never been to before, there will be a lot of members that'll be like, the guy from USPA is here. We're not the bad guys. We're the good guys. We want to help you guys and gals do what you do. Our job is to be the collection point for all the skydiving efforts across the country, whether it's dealing with the FAA, whether it's dealing with local administrations, whether it's improving our safety, our technology, all the things that we work on every day. I have to thank the staff for that because they bust their butts and they do just a phenomenal job. So the one message I want to deliver to all of our members today, and for anybody who's here, go back to your home drop zones and share the same information. And that is that skydiving is better, USPA is better, and each of us as skydivers is better when we communicate and when we open those lines of communication. The amount of things that occur at USPA, changes to our protocols and our programs, the vast majority of all of those come from the field. We really honestly have our ears open to what's happening in the field. In competition, it happens quite a bit. Safety and training, it's almost a daily occurrence that somebody in the field catches something that nobody's ever seen before for whatever reason, or it's never been noticed, or it's never been addressed. So if I have a message for you, it would be go home to your home drop zones and share the message that we want open lines of communication with each and every member. All of our phone numbers are posted on the website, in the magazine, and on every single board member's business card. In my case, it's a cell phone number that I answer 24/7, unless I know who it is and I don't want to talk to him. I'm kidding. So communicate with your regional, always remember that your regional director is always your first point of contact from a USPA perspective. Obviously the SNTAs are involved in that as well if it's a safety issue, but anytime you have any questions, any concerns, a new idea, anything, just call your RD, call your regional director and just Tell them, hey, I was thinking about this the other day. Maybe somebody's thought of it before and it didn't work out, but maybe nobody ever has, and we'd like to work it out. So we are here to work for you. We don't do this for the money, as Albert was already saying. We love what we're doing because we love serving skydivers, because we are skydivers. So thank you all very much. Any final questions, comments from anybody? No? All right. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Thanks for coming to PIA. Don't forget, we have a board meeting starting Saturday morning. It is open to all USPA members. And if you're still in town at that point, I would love to see your face at the board meeting. It can get a little dry and boring, but sometimes it can get pretty sporting too. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun if you're a governance nerd like me. So thank you all for coming. We appreciate you.